And we're live. So,
Hey,
welcome to another live interview show with Become a Fearless Father and my guest, Khaled Maziad. I hope I said that correctly. Thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it.
thanks
And
for having me.
awesome, awesome. And as always, let's start off first with a question, right? We were talking about it, and I just mentioned to you, I was talking to a couple of clients, and most of the times when they come on with me, one of the biggest things that they at first don't share as being their biggest challenge, but quickly coming to the surface is clarity, right? Clarity,
Yes,
as you
yes.
mentioned, mental clarity is one of your biggest. Um, now I can't come up with the English name. Is your biggest secret, trademark, or however you want to call it, right? So we said we definitely going to talk about that. So let's dive into that. How can somebody, because this is going to be huge, how can somebody create mental clarity? What are the steps that they must take?
So first of all, I would like to thank you for having me. It's very simple that most of the time what we think that we are trying to avoid to know exactly what we want to do. And
Mm-hmm.
we just try to focus on so many things without really asking ourselves one question: what do you really want? And when I say what do you really want is, what do you actually exactly want for yourself? What is the something that you're gonna do and when you are going to do it, that you feel really passionate about, that you are feeling really motivated about? And most of the time we are just trying to please other people. We just trying to show ourselves in a certain way, and we are avoiding talking about what do you really feel and what we really like, because we think like people will not accept us. And we also have this, what we call it, the inner voice, about this is, people will not like this, what people would say, and all this fear of failures and the anxieties that we had. I know this from my experience. But it's the first fundamental thing about mental clarity is just knowing clearly and exactly what you want and answering
Mm-hmm.
this question for yourself. And it is, to be honest, I know that I'm I know that I might be oversimplifying it, but I hope I'm not. It is just that simple. Like, just sit with yourself, bring a piece of paper, and write down what you really want. And when you ask many people what they really want, they start to go, "What do you mean? I wanna be successful. I wanna have more money. I wanna do this." But we don't break it down in a
Mm-hmm.
process. We don't break it down in what exactly you want for your relationship, what do you want for your career, what do you want for your financial, what do you want for your physical. We just pick like money or success or fame or financial freedom. What does that really mean for you? Because financial freedom for you might be something different for me. For someone
Mm-hmm.
might be $1 million, for someone else might be 100 grand a year. Like, it doesn't, what does that mean for you? What exactly
Mm-hmm.
do you want? I mean, it is that simple. Just ask yourself one question: what do you really want in different aspects in your life, in different areas in your life? And if you are able to answer this question, you will definitely gain mental clarity.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love the fact, and I think this is key, and that's what makes it so simple, is that you gave it exactly immediately a number, for example, right? So many of us we say like, "Oh yeah, I want to make more money." Like,
Exactly,
cool.
exactly. I want
I
to make more
want,
money.
yeah.
I need to spend time with my kids. How many hours do you need to spend with your kids every day? Like, this is, for example, like, I realized this when this year I was saying, okay, I want to spend more time with my kids, and then I asked myself again, okay, what do you mean by more time? More time, like what? Okay, like I said, I need to add at least 30 minutes a day.
There you go.
So 30 minutes a day is feasible. So I know now, from this time to that time, I'm gonna start reading a story for them. I'm gonna start playing with them, or I do some activities with them. So it is something feasible, it's something tangible that I can measure, that I can know exactly what I'm talking about, that I can know by the end of the day, did I meet my goal or not? And if not,
Hmm.
why? And just having this clarity and having being honest with yourself and asking why you didn't do it, and having this honesty with yourself. And most of the time we avoid this because we we don't want to feel like we failed, and we just, okay, I'm okay, and everything is fine. But if we when we just start facing ourselves and get out of our head, it is just, you gain the clarity. It's just become obvious that how many simple things that we can do every day, and that can make a huge difference in our life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Really appreciate that. Thanks for answering the first question. Everybody, if you're listening right now, make sure you hit that heart button as much and many times as you can, just to show Khaled some appreciation, of course, but also it will help make sure that other people see that we're live right now and join us so they can take advantage of all these golden nuggets that are just shared and will be shared in the next 20 minutes. So, Khaled, just real quick, man, for those people that just, heard you share an incredible golden nugget. And I love the fact that you said, look, it's simple, right? Because that's what it should be like. As long as it's simple, people like to try it. And they also have to know, of
Exactly.
course, it's not
Exactly.
easy.
Anyone can do this at any time. You can just do this after you finish the show right now.
There you go. That's what we want. That's what we want. All right, cool. So, Khaled, share a little bit to those people that are listening and like, wow, that was amazing. But who's Khaled? Share a little bit of your background, please, so we get a perfect picture of you.
So I'm a husband. I have been married since 2013. I'm a father of two beautiful kids. And in my life, what's happened, I used to spend most of my adult life struggling with anxiety and like deep fear inside me, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, not being clear exactly about what I was doing. And although on the surface I looked like I had a very successful career, I looked like successful for many people, but deep inside me I never really felt this appreciation for what I was doing, and I didn't feel that I was fulfilling my purpose. I didn't feel that this is what I meant to do. And then I at that time, that led me to like having like 65 kilograms extra on my weight, and I was like 145 kilograms. Because I used to suffer also from emotional eating, just to suppress these emotions and feelings that I had at that time. And then after that, I lost this weight, and I thought that I solved everything. But deep inside me, things were still there. And although like on the surface, it's still like everything was looking awesome, deep inside me I was still suffering from this anxiety and fear, and especially fear of losing was one of the biggest things for me, and what people will think about me, what people will say. And you know that we have all those fears. And then at one point I realized that, and I discovered that I was just like being imprisoned within myself. I was just trapped within myself and within this fear. And it was this massive day when I felt like, you know what, I don't need to do this. Like, I just gonna be who am I, and it's okay to feel fear. It's okay to feel this unworthy or something, and just feel it. And I just wanna be face it, rather than just spending my entire life was escaping from it and shying away from it and saying it doesn't exist. And at this moment, I realized that I felt like deep down, I felt peace. I felt like I'm really feeling peace. I'm really feeling happy. I'm really feeling that it's just gone away. And I instead of just running away from this feeling, escaping from this feeling, I decided just to face it. I decided just to have it. And this is one of the things that, and I learned this when I started my first business and failed, and I had a massive breakdown. And also I use trading. I do trading, and at that time I was just started learning trading. And when I had all of this was happening in my life, and it was many things, this breakdown taught me my best lesson of my life. That it's not about just escaping from your emotions and your feelings. It's more about expressing them. So I learned this process that's now I'm sharing with other people, fellow traders in the market who trade like forex or stock markets.
Love it. So in regards to emotional balance or emotions, right, and creating that emotional balance, as we talked about before we we hopped on this live, it's actually one of the things that I analyze myself on every single week, right? See where my negative emotions were, what they led to, right, and what did I learn from that. And I'm really interested in hearing from you. What is your strategy to create emotional balance, right?
So it is very simple, and there was a psychiatrist. His name is Carl Jung, and he
Mm-hmm.
said something really profound. He said, "What you resist is not only persist, it actually grow in size." And what
Mm-hmm.
he meant by that, whatever feeling or whatever emotions, and there is a subtle difference between emotion and feeling. And I'm just gonna say this really quick. The emotion is what do you feel, or the reaction, the biological reaction that you feel in your body. And like if my heart is beating very hard right now and is very beating, this is the emotion itself. And
Mm-hmm.
then the feeling is the interpretation of this emotion. So my heart is beating, that means I'm very happy. I can
Mm-hmm.
interpret this as I'm very happy, or I can feel fear. So this is the feeling itself. This is how you gonna understand and say, oh, okay, this is fear, this is happiness, this is very, this is excitement, this is so what he meant by that, what you resist, not only persist, but actually grow in size. So whatever feeling or emotion that you are trying to resist, it's actually gonna rule your life. So if you are trying to avoid facing fear, fear gonna rule your life, and fear
Mm-hmm.
actually gonna grow. If you are trying to suppress an anxiety and worry, you will always have an anxiety and worry, especially like for many people it's about money, or about what other people will say. What
Mm-hmm.
what we call it, like the fear of failure, and worrying about money that many people have.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. I appreciate you sharing that. Now, we also mentioned, right? So this comes from how we've been taught,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. This is because most, especially by the way, for dads, we
Mm-hmm.
have been taught as young boys, don't scream, don't cry, don't show like boys don't cry, and be the man. And like you're telling like 5 years old to be the man, and he doesn't understand what the hell do you mean. Like what kind of man do you want him to be? He wanna cry, he wanna laugh, he wanna run, he wanna express his energy. And when we suppress these kind of emotions, it's just gonna be trapped on them. And this what happened after that, then you will have all those emotions trapped,
Mm-hmm.
and then you will find them why they after that when they are teenagers. And that express why many teenagers now they have this anger, they have
Mm-hmm.
this I wanna just to have many conflicts between like their parents and their colleagues and their friends and their peers, because they are just didn't learn. And actually we didn't learn this, although like don't get me wrong, our parents did an awesome job with
Mm-hmm.
what they all learned, but we actually didn't learn how to express our emotion. We actually didn't learn that it's okay to cry, especially for men. It's okay to express your feeling. It's okay to feel crap one day, and rather
Mm-hmm.
than just trying to numb this feeling, which we numb it by different addictions. And this is one of the main reasons that people are addicted to social media, people are addicted to games, people are addicted to alcohol, people are addicted to different kind of drugs, because they are trying to numb this feeling rather than just feeling it. Because it's
Mm-hmm.
really, to be honest, and this is from my experience, it is really painful. It is painful to feel like, are you telling me like some people might say, are you telling me I have to feel the fear? Yes, feel the fear now. It's not gonna last that much. And actually this has been proven. There is a neuroscientist, his name is Antonio Damasio, and
Mm-hmm.
he said that he discovered that you cannot take any decision without emotions, and emotions is an essential part of decision making. And this is against what most people say, that the rational thinking is the only thing that decide what we're gonna do. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't, because he studied some patient that they have a damaged part in their brain. This damaged part was responsible for emotions. And what he found something very weird about them, that they looked and they seemed very okay on the surface, but they didn't know how to take any decision. So they cannot decide whether they have like a beef or a chicken for lunch. They can articulate exactly what is the right thing to do. They can tell you, okay, like this meal, what is the positive and negative for it, and this meal, what is the positive and negative of it, but they cannot take the decision because they cannot feel the emotions.
Mm. Wow. So how do we make sure then, as dads, right, to break that cycle and make sure that we teach our kids or give our kids the opportunity to grow better than we did, right? So not be emotionally
100%.
controlled, but just live emotionally free or emotionally not.
Actually, we have to start with ourselves first. We have to start with ourselves. We have to feel first it's okay. It's
Mm.
totally absolutely fine to feel anger, to feel fear. It's absolutely okay. And rather than just trying to escape from it and numb it and take something or do something just to avoid this feeling, and that's why many people, they can't sit still. They can't just sit without music in the background or without something just on, because they want to avoid this connection with themselves. So instead of just doing this, just sit. And I'm not talking here about meditation or kind of meditation. Just sit by yourself and allow yourself, allow just this feeling to be there. Just
Mm-hmm.
allow this kind of feeling to stay there. Allow this feeling to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something very subtle gonna happen, because they have discovered also that there is a lifespan of the emotion. And they said that some researchers suggest it's about 90 seconds. So all the emotion can last. One emotion lasts for 90 seconds. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can hold to this emotion for 90 seconds, it's just gonna finish. And you
Mm-hmm.
can have it and just be there. Now some people might ask, oh, okay, Khaled, like that looks okay, but I had some feelings that last for days and years. And
Yep.
how do you say now it's only 90 seconds? And you are absolutely right, because you are feeding it,
Mm.
because you are feeding the emotion. But the emotion itself, whenever it's gonna start from your body till it finish its cycles and this flush inside your body, it actually takes 90 seconds. And everything else is just you feeding the things. The
Mm.
good thing about this, we can do this with positive feelings too. So if I'm feeling something good, you can still feed this by feeling gratitude. So many
Mhm.
people, the first start that when people say this, they say, okay, like I don't want to feel negative things. And it's really important to have this pain first. It is like, for me, I always describe it like this: when you have a headache, and instead of taking a painkiller, let's know what is the main reason of this headache. Most of the time might be coming from your teeth. So if it's coming from your teeth, let's go to the dentist rather than
Mhm.
just taking a painkiller.
Exactly.
Once we discover that, then one of the things that we can use is gratitude. And many people say, okay, but my life is not that good, like I don't have many things. Man, if you are just breathing now, that means your life is awesome. If your kids are around you, that means your life is awesome. If your wife is with you, if you are living in a house, if you are living in a flat, in a unit, whatever, if you are surviving with some shelter, just be just be grateful for this opportunity that you have, that many people don't have. And
Mhm.
if you can feel gratitude, there is no way you can feel being grateful and being fearful at the same time. It's just gonna disappear. It's impossible. It's impossible to feel grateful and feel fearful at the same time. So
True.
this is one of the easiest way, just to start with yourself first. Then we have to do this with our kids too. We have to teach them it's okay. Like if you found yours, and this actually what I do with my kids. Like if I found my son is crying and they said, when he's trying to not to cry. I said, "You want to cry?" Yeah. I was like, cry, and let him cry. And then I ask him, why are you crying? After he finished, let him finish his thing, and then ask him, why did you cry? Or maybe even the next day. You don't need to ask him the same day. The next day,
Mm-hmm.
why did you yesterday you were having this tantrum and you were crying? What happened? And he are gonna say, oh, okay. He might say something or he does not, but at least we gave them this permission.
Mm-hmm.
You like give them their permission, because many of us, we didn't know that we have this privilege.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know that it is something that I can control. It's something that I can have, and I can say yes, and I can say no, and I can, and it's totally okay and it's totally fine to express this feeling and this emotion.
Exactly. Love it, man. Love it. Everybody that's watching this right now, make sure to hit that heart button at least 20 times if you can. That will help. Khaled's message going out. Talking about kids.
Hey,
Huh? You gonna eat what? Really? You gonna say hi?
hi.
You gonna go back to the living room? No. No, you gonna stay here with Daddy? Yeah? We're gonna interview Khaled a little bit more? Yeah? We still got 5 minutes. All right? All right, come on. Sit here with Daddy. I'm gonna put it lower a little bit. There you go. All right. You're gonna ask another question? Yeah? All right, cool. So we talked about, right, work-life balance, work-life integration, right? Share a little bit of what your okay. Share a little bit with me what your philosophy is on that, so people can learn that from you.
Actually, this is for me. This is something I learned it to the hard way, as most people. So for me, and I remember when I was telling you my story about success, like I had a successful career, but at that time, I thought like being workaholic and working long hours. That
Mm-hmm.
is what success means. And like like, and you're gonna sit with your friends. Oh, I work 12 hours. No, I work 18 hours. I work 20 hours, and it is sometimes it's a battle how many hours we are working, and everyone just trying to show off how many hours we are trying to work. And instead of doing that, especially with our wives, uh, so what, and with our families, what we need to do, we need to devote time to them, and this time need to be set. Like, okay, like at that time we're gonna sit together and we're gonna have a chat.
Mm-hmm.
For me and my wife, we do this after we put the kids to sleep. We sit together. We start
Mm-hmm.
sitting together. And this is, by the way, it might vary. Sometimes we might sit for 1 hour. Sometimes we might sit for just 5 minutes, just asking, oh, how was your day? And just having this healthy conversation about what happened in your day. What do you have? Like the second important thing is to express our feelings to with our partners. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have your spouse, just talk to her and like say if she has something, you have to listen to her. This is for me is very important thing to do, because when we release those negative emotions and negative things, and also express the positive things about our relationship. And one of the things actually I do with my wife sometimes is just actually my wife started the so every now and then we're gonna sit and look back about how we started and where we started before and where we are right now, and just feel grateful for the journey and how we made it and what's our plans for the future. And it's really important to have this balance between your hey it's really important to have this balance between our work and our life, because this is going to be the motivation. And don't forget being connected always to our why do we work. We are not working just to work. We
Mm-hmm.
are working for a why. We are working for a reason. There is a reason behind this, and this reason most of the time is our family. So we cannot forget our family lives in the process of working and just being addicted to working. And we have, I believe, to stop this idea that I'm working 12 hours, I'm working 18 hours, and it's just like a battle. How many hours did you work?
Who works the most? Yeah. Let's turn it around. Make a battle of who works the least while still
Exactly.
providing and still connecting. Absolutely. So, man, we're already almost at the 25 minutes. And I still want to give you a chance to let people know how they get in contact with you. Now, you shared this with us, so I definitely want
Yes.
to put that up. But what's the best way for our fellow entrepreneur dads or anybody that's listening, that's really connecting with you right now, that wants to connect some more, get in contact with you or follow your content, what's the best way of doing that?
Awesome. So they can follow me. So my website is tradingroadmap.com. And this is the same for the Facebook group. I have a Facebook page, also Trading Roadmap, and they can contact me at any time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. The links, by the way, people, are in the description. Doesn't matter if you're watching this right now on Facebook, on YouTube, or listening to this on the podcast. Everything, all the links are in the description. So click on that. Again, people, if you're watching this right now, it doesn't matter if it's right now live or you listening to me on a replay, make sure to hit that heart button. Make sure you share it if you find any value out of this so that others can learn from this as well, take advantage of this. And don't forget, maybe you missed it, but Khaled said something very important. He shared some stuff that you can start implementing right now as soon as
100%.
which will be in like 30 seconds or so. So make sure to do that. Anyway, Khaled, thank you so much for being on. Really appreciate you taking the time, and I really enjoyed your golden nuggets that you've been sharing with us. So thank you for that.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And everybody watching this, thank you. I appreciate all of you, and we will see each other very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.